This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Ahoy, matey! It is the Fun Friday edition of the Meltdown, and we are thrilled to be here with another edition of Meltdown Live. I am Tim Melton, and this is the greatest show on earth. Yes, here we are. I don't know, that may be trademarked, and if it is, we apologize. But we're broadcasting from the Culver studio. I'm Tim Melton. That is EG over here.
Hey, Tim.
How are you, EG?
Cracking me up early, so this should be fun.
Okay. That's good because you got some eggs that need cracking.
I do.
Because we've got a new segment happening here on the show for the very first time called
A Dozen Eggs.
Is it that's what it's officially called?
Yeah.
We've gone back and forth on the name. EG's Dozen Eggs I like better. Maybe it's a little bit more personal.
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay.
I like the constructive criticism, Tim.
Okay, well we'll work through it. Okay, we've got Tyler here with us. Tyler, how are you, my friend?
Ahoy! Avast ye scallywags. Is that's a
more
pirate
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Scallywag.
You know any good
Farewell and
shanties?
adieu, my fair Spanish lady. Farewell and adieu, my lady of Spain. Anyway, that's where we're at. It's a Jaws thing. It's Jaws' birthday.
I'm
celebrating
in the middle
early.
of asking for a shanty, and you immediately
Yeah.
belted out with one. That's how in sync we are
Got
today.
the T-shirt on.
Yeah, got the T-shirt on. I went with that today. It was actually by choice. You know, like last week, I got a chance to wear my Friday the 13th stuff because it was Friday the 13th. Now I get to wear my Jaws stuff because today is the 50th anniversary of Jaws releasing, which is incredible. Jaws in 1975 was an event. You guys weren't around for it.
You weren't either.
That is correct. Thank you for fact-checking me. But I wish I was.
Friend of me, saw me.
If there was a certain movie I would have loved to have seen with an opening weekend audience, if I could go on a time machine and go back, it would be Jaws. Jaws would be super fun. It was the first blockbuster. It was the first movie to make over $100 million.
Crazy.
This movie was culturally the biggest thing that had ever hit cinemas. And it paved the way for a year later, Rocky becoming a huge thing, where then all of a sudden everybody wanted to put on their sweats and run outside. And then a year later, you get Star Wars. So, I mean, it was a pretty good run there. And then a year after that, you get Halloween.
Dang.
So, I mean, it was a
solid run.
It was a great stretch there, and it really all started with Jaws, in my opinion. And there's been so many copycats and so many ripoffs and so many. We're still talking about its cultural significance even today with how many different movies try to replicate that same magic. And nobody's been able to do it better than the original Jaws. There has never been a shark movie better than the original Jaws. There's been a lot of movies that have tried. There's been a lot of monster movies, but Jaws is an all-time classic. I still think Jaws, which was Steven Spielberg's third movie he ever made, I think Jaws is the greatest Steven Spielberg movie ever. I feel very passionate about that case, and it's insanely rewatchable. I never tire watching it. The poster's been over my left shoulder. Yes. The entire time that we've been doing a show, for a reason, because it is incredibly influential and great cast, great cinematography, great scares, great comedy, heart. I mean, and EG, we've got to get you to sit down and watch the whole thing someday.
No, I agree. Like, I want to do that. Sharks, I do. I'm fond of them.
That's the only thing. Like, if you told me, like, there's no chance, because you are a little bit of a scaredy cat when it comes to cinema.
Yeah.
But you are a shark fanatic.
I am.
You got to watch Jaws.
Yeah, I know. I need to. Come Shark Week on Nat Geo or Discovery, there's a lot of criticisms towards Jaws for demonizing a creature. I never really bought into that.
Well, good.
Yeah. So I'm very open to this journey. And another good movie pertaining to sharks, Soul Surfer. Bethany Hamilton.
Well, what year anniversary is it of Soul Surfer?
Not the 50th.
Okay, well, we're going to let the 50th trump this this shout out for Soul Surfer. I do love how you're like, a shark movie I have seen, Soul Surfer.
Yes.
But no, that's good. We will probably pull that out of the mystery box at some point if we haven't already. Have we already?
I don't think we have. I feel like We would have remembered that.
We had a great mystery box yesterday from Jason Collier.
We were up at that board. It felt like every other pull.
Yeah, it was great. And I'm not saying that it was a little bit of a cheat sheet of what he's doing. I don't think it's like total mystery. I mean, he knows us. Second and Charles doesn't, obviously.
Duh.
And I'm not complaining because
I'm
we've
not
gotten some
either.
real duds. And that yesterday was it was the best box ever.
But you know what, Tim? I think people really like our reactions to the duds. Like, I'm starting to think that people might appreciate the San Antonio boxes more.
Maybe so, but those that had to live through it, which is
We
us,
love Jason Collier's.
we're all still trying to rid the asbestos from our
and,
body.
like, every once in a while, I think that these hands have touched San Antonio. Disgusting.
Tyler, Jaws. We've talked about this movie in our retro trailer reaction series, which I do recommend if people want a deeper dive in Jaws, that they go check that out. We've got it up on the channel right now. You can find it right there. It's I'm really proud of that production. But we do have the 4th of July holiday coming up. That is EG's arguably favorite holiday of all time.
Love.
And Jaws is a staple for that. They're doing the re-release in August.
Why is that? Why are they not doing it July 4th?
I guess
Because it's just a swing and a miss.
Is it too crowded, the box office?
you're saying it's a swing and a miss in terms of their idea.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they think, hey, summer's when things start. I mean, not summer. August is when things start to wind down in summer.
Yeah.
And so we can like
We
maybe
can
make more
dominate
money.
the box office.
If Jaws was in theaters,
Right now.
I'm going to say last weekend. Like you got How to Train Your Dragon, you got Jaws coming out, and you keep Jaws in for this weekend, movie would have made bank.
Absolutely.
I can't believe that they don't. The movie's already made. Like I just throw it in there.
I would have much rather gone to see Jaws last night because I drove past the theater again last night, late last night, and I ended up pulling into the parking lot and going, should I just go home now, or do I see Materialist?
Did you?
I couldn't do it. I could not bring myself to do it.
Materialist commits the cardinal sin that I never forgive a movie for, which is absolute false marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Movie is not what it markets itself to be. It is.
Trash.
See, now if Jaws' 50th anniversary was in theaters last night, I would have gone to a late screening. Absolutely.
I would have been double dipping. I would have gone right from what? EG?
I'm so sorry. This is like what you want with Pocket Aces. Quads. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You do need to get to the river, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. But like, sorry. I just.
No, it's okay.
I
This is
haven't-
what's wrong with I have made you obsessed with this game.
Yeah, there's no. I'm hoping there's no straight.
You know, that never happens when you have pocket
No,
aces.
it doesn't. That's why I'm like,
Right.
quads.
See, and
Wow.
that's the beautiful thing about Jaws. Thank you for bringing that up because it actually is a perfect transition because Jaws is historically looked at as the craziest film production of all time. It's going over budget. They couldn't get the shark to work. It's a shark movie. They can't get the shark is not working.
There were supposed to be way more shots of that shark, but they
Yeah.
couldn't get the animatronics to work. They kept just shorting out, rusting, whatever, just breaking whenever they put them in the water.
The Meltdown's mentality as well as Jaws' mentality has been simple. When things get broken, still figure out a way to make it work.
Yes.
Amen.
And we've done that with the pieces that we have, and that's exactly what Jaws did. And they made an all-time classic, and we hope to do the same. With all that being said, I mean, it turned out to be so much better that you didn't get an overload of the shark. I mean, because he had such little screen time,
Well, mystique.
it was way more. Your imagination can do so much more damage. And they came up with very creative ways with the barrels and with the dock and with all these different ways to portray that the shark is there. They did a first-person point of view at the beginning. You know, they did point of view with, the swimmers being underneath them. The poster, okay? Just the
Poster's
poster
incredible.
alone, right?
It's iconic.
It's just an all-time absolute classic. And it really does. I mean, you have not seen Jaws all the way through, EGI. This is the last time I'm going to say that, but I say it to this point. You love the ocean.
Yeah.
When you go in the water, are you always thinking in the back of your mind that there is a possibility for an encounter? Oh, you were thinking of that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember this, like, we had the DVD of Jaws, and I remember that, like, staring at it as a kid because it's so, like, weirdly, like, enticing to look at visually. You know what I mean? Like, it's aesthetic, and you just kind of, you're there. You can, like, feel it. And so, yeah, I think when you're in the water, doesn't matter how clear the water is or where you are, like you're thinking in the back of your mind, something gonna get me.
You're a Harry Potter fan.
Love, yes.
The reason I bring that up is because there's a lot of people that are like, even though the movies are excellent, the books are still better.
Yeah.
Okay? Are you one of those people?
Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, the movies are incredible, but the books
are better, right?
Yeah.
This is one where everyone is on the side of the movie's better than the book.
I
Like-
didn't even know that Jaws was a book.
Oh, yeah, Jaws was a book.
I did
Peter
not even know
Benchley
that.
wrote
Did not
it.
know that.
Yeah. And there's some major differences.
Really?
Yeah, like interpersonal, like Hooper is hooking up with Mrs. Brody in the book. Yeah.
What?
It's a big swing there, yeah. But she's kind of miserable in her marriage, and she kind of sees in him his fascination with sharks, and it like makes her go wild that he's so addicted to figuring out everything about the sharks, and they start
the
hooking
mayor,
up.
right?
No.
Oh, no.
That's the shark
Oceanographer.
expert that's brought in that wants to.
What's the mayor's name?
The mayor is Mayor Larry Vaughn. Yeah. But he's the real villain of the movie, but he's also very stylish. There's a lot to get into, but there's some big differences between the book and the movie, and everyone is like, thank goodness Spielberg did this with the movie, and thank goodness Spielberg chose that with the movie, and you know, the USS Indianapolis speech. Come on, Tyler. I mean,
Fantastic.
is there ever a time where that thing doesn't just absolutely hit and it's just like perfectly delivered? You know, the rumor is that no one knows who really wrote that, right? And some people say Robert Shaw ad-libbed it, and some people say that he used his screenwriting background to write it up, and some other people take credit for it and they bring up the idea and it was counted. We'll never get a definitive answer of how that speech ended up in the movie. However, we do know that Robert Shaw, according to his side of things, he was supposed to be shooting that scene while intoxicated. And he thought it would give it more realism. And so they shoot the scene and he goes to bed and he's like, that's awful. It was awful. I mean, I slurred the whole time. It was like, there was no punch to it. So he calls Spielberg and he's like, tomorrow I want one more shot at it. And comes in and in one take nails it. And they're like, that's it. And I'm glad that they ended up getting that scene so right, because it may be the most important scene in the entire film.
It's one of the most important scenes in film history, I'd argue.
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree. I could go on and on and on about Jaws, its cultural significance. The 50th anniversary steelbook is out.
Will you be purchasing?
I want it, but I've got the 45th anniversary, and I don't know anyway, I want it at Barnes & Noble right now. There's a 50% off any Universal movies special. But the thing is, they have it listed for like $55 or something like that. So it's more like I can have it in hand for the same price I would be able to pretty much get it online minus the shipping and handling. So I'm still waiting for that perfect sort of pull the trigger, because it's going to be around for a while. It's not going to be out of stock. It's not going to go missing. But I do want it. It looks beautiful. But anyway, we love Jaws on this platform and would love for you to check out our retro trailer reaction if you want to go a deeper dive into the history of the film and all of its cultural impact and all that. But we've got to pay our respects to what is one of the greatest movies, one of the greatest horror movies. I do consider Jaws to be a horror movie. And the fact that it did not win Best Picture that year is crazy. The fact that Steven Spielberg was not nominated for Best Director that year is crazy. But it goes to show you just how good One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was, because when a lot of people bring up like biggest upsets in Oscar history, they don't really bring up One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest beating Jaws, because One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a very, very, very good movie as well.
It's fantastic.
So it was just a stacked year, and Jaws kind of ran into the gauntlet of having a stacked year, but definitely worth a Best Picture nomination there, even though Spielberg didn't get nominated, and none of the principal cast got nominated, which I believe Robert Shaw should have gotten nominated. You know, could you have made an argument for the other two guys? Probably so. Probably so, but definitely Shaw. I think for Best Supporting Actor, come on. I mean, that's like the supporting actor role of a lifetime there, and what he gives in his performance as Quint. So anyway, love Jaws. Could talk about it forever. I'm not going to. We need to go to another horror movie that we saw that came out this week, 28 years later. We saw it yesterday, and it's one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I do like zombie movies. I've never been a big Walking Dead fan. Never really gotten into The Walking Dead. Is it still going on?
I don't know.
I think it is.
There's different spin-offs and stuff, but I think the main Walking Dead series is over.
Didn't they kill off someone that was like super controversial?
That was years ago, though, I thought.
Yeah, I know it was, but I thought that's when everyone like checked out of it.
Yeah. Anyway,
it was just brutal.
I feel bad not being able to give a lot of Walking Dead lore here because it's not really my cup of tea. I know when Negan popped up on the scene, everyone was into Walking Dead at that point, and then it sort of died down after some controversial
I had dropped
choices.
off the show before Negan ever popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he brought everybody back for one last, like, sort of, oh, okay, this is really great.
I must have just been super burned then because I remember everybody getting hyped over it, and I'm just like, nope.
Zombies.
I'm done.
Zombies
I'm
were
done.
the thing in the early 2010s. I mean, basically like 2006 to 2000 and
2012 was really bizarre.
I would back it up to like 2009 because Call of Duty World of War was around then.
Yeah.
And that was the first, like, not the first, but that zombies game mode became very popular, and I think reintroduced it to
that was
new generations and just really pushed zombies to the forefront of me.
Definitely may have been the peak. I don't know. I mean, it's like it's all around that point, but zombies were the thing. And I always have really liked Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, which James Gunn was also behind, and which is kind of ironic because now they both share a big part of superheroes cinematic history with both having their versions of Superman going against each other currently right now as we speak. But I'm a zombie movie fan, and I was excited for 28 years later and went to go see it yesterday afternoon, actually. Packed house, packed out. I mean, I've not seen a 3 p.m. Thursday movie packed out the way that one was. I mean, a lot of people very excited to be in there, and I absolutely thought it delivered. It's a family drama film that happens to be in a world where this rage virus has done a lot of damage, and it's a father-son movie that's very complex. It's a mother-son movie that's very complex. The kid actor in this, and I don't remember his name right off the top of my head. I want to say it's Alfie something. It's fantastic. The kid actor in this that's sort of the lead is really, really good. This movie is brutal. I had a friend ask me, it's like, how over the top do they go with the violence in this movie? I think it's extremely violent and extremely grotesque. And there are sequences that you're just not prepared for.
Alfie Williams plays Spike.
Williams, fantastic kid actor. So good in this movie. He has to be for it to work. You know, they've talked about in the production of this that this whole thing was shot on an iPhone. You know, a little bit of false marketing there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, shot with that technology, but the most high-tech, advanced way possible to shoot with iPhones is the way this movie is shot. And it doesn't look cheap at all.
They had custom rigs and lens adapters made so they could film this movie on an iPhone and give it that cinematic quality. But they don't mention that. They just say, yeah, most of this was filmed on an iPhone.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not to say that you can film this with the iPhone in your pocket.
Right. I don't hold it against the movie that's sort of the technique they're going with. There are some big swings narratively that maybe feel out of place at times in this movie that you just do not see coming. But for me, they kind of work the oddball nature of it. Danny Boyle's filmmaking, his filmography, it always has that sort of energy anyway. I think this is the best of the 3 movies that we've gotten so far, with 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and now 28 years later. There's a new type of threat in this. Bigger, badder, way more naked.
Yeah, I was just about to say way more naked.
There is so much nudity in this movie.
Really?
There's grotesque nudity in this movie.
There's a lot of I don't know how to put it.
Yeah, Tyler, I'm gonna sit back and wait.
zombified privates.
Oh, gross.
I think that's probably the most polite way to put that.
Imagine, no. It's
I
like,
don't want to imagine anything.
no.
Think.
I'm not.
I don't even want a picture painted.
Yeah, no, it's, let's just say this. If you get the option to watch this movie in 3D, don't do
Oh,
it.
no.
That's all I'm saying. Avoid the 3D version of this. I learned that mistake with Magic Mike, and I will not make that mistake again with 28 years later. But it is just all out there on display.
You saw Magic Mike?
In 3D, opening night, yeah.
You did not.
It was a fan event.
Shut up.
No, I did.
Have you ever seen Magic Mike?
No, I have not. I actually have not.
Oh.
But I'm not judging. I mean, I'm sure it's a great movie. I'm sure it has some narrative, really.
No, I mean, no.
No, it's a chick movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. For like bachelorettes that are like, oh, the new Magic
Are you saying EG can enjoy a good narrative and also a strong emotional arc
funny?
for a
I'm
character?
saying that she's admitting to what I'm admitting
No,
to.
but you know what's funny is the most recent one came out in college, and like me and all my friends to go see it, expecting like yeah, and it was like too narrative. We were like, oh, we don't really care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, bingo. Yeah.
It was too narrative.
Exactly. Well, this one needed a little bit more narrative because, I mean, it's just, I mean, I don't know. It's like how I imagine. No, I can't say anything. Yeah, I can't say anything. But here's what I will say, that the movie has some bite to it, literally. And they actually use one of the big debates about this whole franchise. Are they zombies or are they not zombies? They say zombies in this.
They do say zombies in this. The debate has been cleared up.
I mean, Danny Boyle has been saying these are zombie movies. But there's a lot of purists who are like, this is not a zombie movie. This is a virus movie.
And nothing else. You don't see zombies moving fast. No. That's weird.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I don't know. If I found myself in a zombie apocalypse, I just don't think I'd want to be there. Like, simply put, like, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I could outrun them. I feel like they'd be more of a nuisance than anything.
Yeah. I don't think you hiding out in a designer store would work well for you.
No, I wouldn't do that. I'd go to the farm.
That is actually probably a good idea.
That's season 2 of The Walking Dead.
Yeah. There's some choices made in this that the only way this movie truly works is if they start to answer some of the questions they've lobbed up.
Yes.
In this movie. Like, I love movies that ask a bunch of questions, right? The Force Awakens, I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, is he going to bring up Disney Star Wars? I am. The Force Awakens asked a whole bunch of questions. And people were into it. And Star Wars was back, and the movie made a ton of money, and there was like this whole wait for like, oh my gosh, we're going to get all these answers. And the answers weren't fulfilling for a lot of people. But the question setup was the fun part. In this movie, it sets up a ton of questions, and I have so many questions that I want answered. Will that be satisfying to get those answers in the next movie? Will they even give us the answers in the next movie? I don't know. But I really like where I'm at right now with 28 years later, which is I have a lot of questions about how everything sort of works and what it is that they're trying to hint at and how certain things are presented where I'm like, that's fascinating. I haven't really thought about how that could be a possibility in this world based on the circumstances that these characters find themselves in. I'm trying to be as vague as possible without ruining anything, but, there's certain situations the characters find themselves walking upon, and you have questions about how did it get to this point. And those may be some answers that come in the future.
Yep. I had you on the solo shot for most of that because you started talking about Force Awakens, and I just couldn't co-sign any of that. So, but I do agree with some of your sentiment that this reintroduces the 28 Days Later world in a more fascinating way and lobs up these really interesting bits of lore, bits of tid about the 28 Days Later world that you just really want to see more of, and you really want to see it resolved and just have answers to those questions that you mentioned. I would equate it more so to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And the reason for that is because both 28 Years Later and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes choose to take place far enough into the future of their previous movies to where you don't have to worry about the other characters that you're used to right now. You can introduce a fresh world with new lore and new avenues you can go down in future sequels.
Okay. I mean, you are very much going with a direct analogy. I'm going with like the process of discovery, that feeling, right? I'm going with a feeling. You're going with a literal, this is what I would compare it to. And I think both are completely fair. Now, once again, I'm on the solo shot here because he doesn't want to talk anything Star Wars Force Awakens. I understand it's broken a lot of hearts. But, this movie, I don't know. There's just a great vibe about it. I got a 4.5 out of 5 on it right now. I think it's really action-packed. It's tense. There's one sequence in particular that I was literally like, it's get your heart pumping. You're like, oh my gosh, those situations where you're watching a horror movie and you're kind of like, are the people on screen really that dumb? Are they going to do this stupid thing? And every time I thought I was getting to that point, I would start to then go, no, this makes sense. This makes sense of why these characters would find themselves in this situation, making these decisions, and why it would be such a tense moment. So really enjoyed it. Go watch it with a packed crowd. I recommend it. Tyler recommends it. And it's a movie that by the end of the year, we're going to have to see how we really feel on it. But the fact that we're getting the sequel so quickly.
Yes. To answer Hunter's question in the chat, he goes, will we even get the next movie? We're getting it in January 16th.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they've already shot it.
Yep, they've already shot it. It's called 28 Years Later, Part 2, The Bone Temple. So definitely go check out 28 Years Later first.
Very excited.
Before The Bone Temple comes out.
To recommend that movie. There are some tonal shifts in the movie that are not going to sit well with everybody. They sat well with me because they were so jarringly disturbing. Like, it was good.
Yeah, it worked for me as well. And it has to do with what Jason brings up in the chat. He says he keeps hearing people say that the last 4 minutes of 28 Years Later ruins it.
Yeah, I don't feel that way.
Yeah, I don't feel that way at all, but I can definitely see how somebody would feel that way, and it just not land for them.
In the marketing, they've shown that there's some Teletubby stuff in here, some tiddlywinks, and
you got Tinky Winky, Lala, Dipsy, and Poe.
Well, you got a bunch of Tinky Winkies chasing you around in this because they are just. It's like being chased by a zombie grandfather clock. It's like, what in the world is happening?
It's like that Kevin Hart bit.
I don't know the Kevin Hart bit, but I'm not sure we can talk
People
about it.
in the chat will understand.
I'm telling you, it's jarring. Like, I had to put the popcorn down numerous times just to...
Yikes. Just to what?
Just to protect myself.
Don't want to be eating a hot dog during that movie.
Gosh, Tyler, that's too... You hit it too hard on the head there. All right, let's do this.
You talked about Terrifier. Well...
Let's do this. Let's go to some actual bits of Tid, because you have a couple of news and notes that you need to get to us, and we're going with the flash edition of bits of Tid because you're going to hit us quickly with some Tid. It's a drive-by Tid, some drive-by Tid.
Oh my god.
Oh yes, I got some little Tids for you today. First off, the MCU Marvel is preparing for their next big release, Ironheart. On Disney Plus.
Gosh, I fell for it, and I even you had hinted. I
fell
for it. I was like, Fantastic Four. What's the news? Which, by the way, I saw that pizza that Jason Collier was talking about. That Little Caesars pizza.
I had it in trash yesterday.
And if you have a family that can never agree on what pizza to order,
yeah, it seems like it works perfectly for picky eaters.
Absolutely. So anyway, there we go. But Ironheart looks awful.
It does. And so almost 3 years after this character was introduced to the MCU in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, excuse me.
Okay.
Riri Williams is set to return to the MCU in Ironheart. She's an MIT student, an inventor prodigy, and she's going to be center stage in this new show, and it's supposed to go pretty deep into her psyche. The executive producer, Sev Ohanian, compared her to Walter White and Tony Soprano, saying, Riri is brilliant yet flawed and finds herself going down a path I'm not sure we've quite seen in the MCU. She kind of breaks bad in the show, and we go to some uncomfortable places for audience that I think will be really fun to explore, almost in the vein of Walter White from Breaking Bad or Tony Soprano. So we've gone from the most A24 Marvel movie ever to now Marvel's version of The Sopranos and Breaking Bad.
This isn't real. This isn't real.
It's real. I had to pull it from numerous sources just to double check it because I don't know what they got in the water over at Disney, but I wouldn't drink the Kool-Aid over there. Oof.
This is the Acolyte 2.0 is what this is.
Oh,
Just,
100%.
This is the Marvel version of the Acolyte. I had to take off my headphones because I didn't want to hear it anymore. You got anything else for us?
Oh, yes. Sorry, one sec. I got to scroll to it.
No, it's okay. Let that one linger.
Let's let that one marinate. We got a new horror movie from A24 called The Backrooms. They've greenlit this from filmmaker Kane Parsons, who is only 19 years old, making him the youngest director in studio history.
That's cool.
Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah. He's going to star in that. I really should have looked up the pronunciation
you're good.
before we recorded today. Plot's being kept under wraps, but The Backrooms will be based on Parsons' viral YouTube horror universe. His online series debuted in 2022 and has gotten over 190 million views to date. Production is expected to begin this summer. And this should be really interesting because The Backrooms is a fictional internet horror sort of tale. It's the best example of the liminal space aesthetic.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's what Skinamarink was supposed to be.
Yes. So what The Backrooms are is it's usually portrayed as like an impossibly large, extra-dimensional sort of sprawl of large hallways and empty rooms, and you access it by no-clipping out of reality. Think in the way you're playing an old glitchy video game and you kind of clip through the wall and you're on the outside for a little bit. That's The Backrooms. You clipped through the wall of reality into the Backrooms.
I'm so scared. Sorry.
Front of me, Summer. All right. Kane Parsons created it when he was 16.
EG, we're going to take you to see
EG
this.
still hates him anyway.
Yeah.
Dude's 19 and is directing a movie
No, I'm just
impressive.
saying.
A24.
There's-
EG hates
impressive.
him.
There's a whole sector of TikTok that's like, I'm so scared of the back rooms. I don't get it.
I will say, there's a
EG
couple things
is
going on here.
Is a hater.
EG
What we
refuses
found
to
out.
see any horror movie whatsoever, so I don't want to. This is absolutely the most hypocritical thing I've ever heard you do on the air.
What, really?
Yeah, like, oh, how scary is that? You won't watch a single
Yeah.
horror movie.
Okay, I'll watch this one.
Oh, bull.
I
Don't
don't
lie.
Okay, let's check on it.
You got this on camera?
I got it on camera. Chat, you remember this. You remember this.
Yeah. Can't get you CF1, but I can get you to see
No,
subliminal
F1, I want to
spaces.
see F1. It's Mission Impossible. I'm blocked in on F1.
Okay. Well, we need to get your ticket.
Early
then.
release, right? Next week.
Yeah, next week. Okay. Anyway,
I don't know what I just committed to.
I don't know either. That's kind of crazy
You
that I got
committed
you
to watching some high art horror movie.
Yeah, I could now. I will make
Enjoy.
I will make you the deal. If you end up retracting your
Yeah.
commitment, you can just pay for one of my poker entries and we're square. Okay, so that gives you an out.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I got to give her an out, or else I won't get anything out.
Oh,
of it, 'cause
she
she's not gonna
interrupted
see
my
this.
bit of tid.
I
How
was
have you
like,
been wrong?
I've had enough about this. I'm the one that made the deal, right? Sometimes there's a whole thing that's happening here in the actual back rooms of this building that I could talk about. We're planning on potentially placing a wager that I'm trying to get everybody rich, but we won't talk about that right now. Here's what we will talk about. If you are younger as a director than the number that is in A24, that's pretty impressive.
That is
Yeah.
very impressive. It's the youngest in studio history, and it just reaffirms what I was saying about Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, is that YouTube is a way for these filmmakers to find an avenue, and then they work their way into the traditional media landscape, whatever you want to call it. But he's a filmmaker. He was just doing it on a smaller scale through Adobe After Effects and Blender.
I love it. Jason Collier in the chat saying, I want EG to watch The Exorcist. And then Hunter Bussey saying, I was here, exclamation point, to let us know.
So weirdly enough, I don't think EG would be too scared at The Exorcist. I do, however, think she would be offended.
Probably. That makes sense.
I think both. I'd
be like, I think, what's the one I saw? Annabelle? That didn't freak me out.
You Annabelle saw it, but didn't you?
I was just turned around.
You turned around and you refused to watch the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't count.
And then like at the end, there's like the lady in the house, and
I'm not trying to change your core values in life. Okay, I'm not.
No,
I'm not
aware.
that type of person. Yeah. I just think that there are some things you could tiptoe into that you'd be like, okay, I can understand a little bit more of why people would enjoy this.
Yeah, for sure.
And Jaws is one of those things.
Yes, Jaws, I agree.
But I want to sort of just introduce you to the world without throwing you.
Yeah, I guess.
But you did yourself no favors because
Why?
Tyler's talking about this is going to be a movie that really explores the subconscious of the backrooms and stuff.
I didn't even listen to that.
And you're like, that sounds dumb.
Well, I think of like Macy's, like, oh, you're stuck in the back room of Macy's.
That sounds terrifying, actually.
Hey,
yeah.
What happens back there that's so scary? You just leave.
Maybe if you want to interrupt me, you know.
Sorry, Tyler.
Do you feel like spending overnight in a mall all alone would not be just absolutely freaky?
I mean, yeah, but I just don't understand like people's irrational and I'm fearful of cockroaches.
It's
but,
just like the feeling of you're at school at night and it just looks eerie.
Yeah.
It's just the feeling of eeriness and
a normally populated place that's not bustling.
Yes.
Correct. I find that to be incredibly
unsettling.
Eerie.
Yeah.
Unsettling. Now it doesn't absolutely terrify me, but it definitely piques my interest. Like it makes my imagination just soar.
Yeah.
It's what you're not seeing that freaks you out.
Exactly. That's an interesting trope with the back rooms. But I just guess I see on TikTok and it's like all these people like, oh, the Macy's back rooms.
That's the problem. You were listening to people on TikTok and giving one thought as to what they think.
Yeah, I mean, I just make fun of them when they're like, oh, here's like this picture of like an abandoned mall, like a dressing room, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It can be creepy. It can be. I can see it.
Abandoned pools, that's kind of creepy. Y'all ever seen those?
I mean, yeah.
With like water that like goes down and you can't see the bottom, but it's all dark and murky.
Have you seen pictures of the abandoned Six Flags in New Orleans?
You and your Six...
I know, you love...
Six Flags has traumatized you in some way.
No, I like Six Flags.
Him.
Okay.
Great place. And Kane Parsons describes the backrooms as a manifestation of a poorly remembered recollection of the late 90s and early 2000s. So, wrapping up that bit of TID, moving on to the most important bit of TID and the final little bit of TID I have for today.
Okay.
It's just a little peek of TIDs today.
Okay.
Take it.
The Meltdown has been just skyrocketing. I cannot thank you guys enough for giving us the opportunity to talk movies with you every day and just share our thoughts as two idiots who go see a bunch of movies. That being said, The Meltdown has been skyrocketing in the rankings for podcasts in film reviews. We're number 60 in Croatia.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's number 60 in all of Croatia.
As they say in Croatia, Bok means hello.
Oh.
That's
nice.
what I've learned today.
Hi, Bach.
I was worried you had... Hi, hello is what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bok.
Bach, Bach.
Okay. Let's Bach this train up. Thank you, Croatia. We couldn't do it without you.
We love you.
Appreciate you being maybe the capital of Meltdonia when it's all said and done. We are very much considering.
I like that.
Considering
EG's talked about a world tour.
And
I've been going through the analytics. We've got some listeners out in Moldova. We got some out in the Netherlands. Maybe
I could do the Netherlands.
Yeah, go get some ice cream.
Yeah. Tyler knows.
Okay, never say never. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with all of this. But I will tell you that Croatia, we are not done with you, and we appreciate you. While everyone else is trying to figure out how to stay in this country, we're considering going to Croatia for a long, extended amount of time, and we would appreciate you welcoming us with the hearts and the open arms that you have. Bach to you. Thank you so much. So, Croatia, number one in our hearts, number one forever. we're number 60 there, but you're number 1 to us. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you about some people if you have a problem with your mouth. Now, this isn't going to really help the people of Croatia that much.
No.
However, it is going to help the people of Alabama because there's a dental team out there, and they are signed up to serve you. Today, they helped our good friend. You may have noticed Jim Dunaway was not on the next round today, and he had to get some dental work done, and it was something that he had to plan for and prepare for in a moment's notice. And who did he turn to? He turned to the team at Alabama Dental Associates. That's Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan. If you're in a pinch and you're going, man, I've got some massive tooth pain, I need to get looked at, I need to get this figured out before it gets even worse, I cause myself some long-term damage, this is the team that's going to help you. You need to get on top of those regular cleanings and checkups, and you can do that today by simply calling 205-956-8977. Or if you do not like to make phone calls for some reason because, I don't know, your mouth hurts and you're worried you're not going to be understood because you're like, oh, my mouth hurts,
Good point.
Log on to the website, go that direction, visit alabamadental.com. That's where they look forward to seeing you. Okay, it's time now to crack into a new segment
I'm so excited.
where we are getting into EG's dozen eggs.
A dozen eggs.
And I have tasked EG with coming up with what is not 10 interesting questions, which is what you get with Tim and Tim, but 12 interesting subjects, questions, topics, introspective thoughts.
Yes.
And you've been working hard on this.
The hardest assignment in my career up to this point.
That's what you called it. And then, you had that sort of smirk, and I knew that this was a friend of me summer. And so we're going to get right into it. Is there anything that needs to be said before we get started?
No, just give your honest answers. I'm excited for this. Constructive criticism is welcomed with these questions. Is my music queued up?
Yeah, your music's queued up.
Okay, thank you.
Are the questions scrambled?
You could say. You might be scattered, smothered, and covered.
Oh.
I actually have a question that pertains to that. Okay, we're going to start here, Tim. Starting with you.
Oh, okay.
If you could swap lives with an animal for approximately one day, what would it be?
Be a great white shark. Great white shark. A great white shark. That's what it would be.
Okay.
I like the idea of being a shark because that's what I'm at the poker table, and that's what I want to be. I want to be a great white shark. I want to be swimming around going like, oh man, predator of the sea.
Would you have any fear with that?
I mean, of course, anytime you're in the ocean, it's anything you are. But I mean, the great white shark, as long as I can avoid what's trying to catch me up above and avoid some whales that are bigger than me, I should be okay.
Okay.
But I'm going great white.
Tyler?
I think I'm going to go with a kangaroo. And that's because when I was a wee little Lionel, I went to the movies to see a movie called Kangaroo Jack. And this was marketed as a fun family movie with a talking kangaroo. That kangaroo appeared in about 10 seconds of the movie. I never felt more cheated and lied to this day. And so I don't know what it's like to be a kangaroo hopping through the outback because Kangaroo Jack lied to me. So I'm going to go with kangaroo.
I missed that movie, but I hate to hear that you were false marketed to.
It was Jerry O'Connell and Anthony Anderson.
There's like a plane scene.
What's that?
Is there like a plane or a scene on the plane or something?
Yeah. It was originally shot to be an R-rated mob comedy, and Jerry O'Connell got naked for the movie, and then all of that was cut out and changed into a kids movie somehow.
Wow.
Okay.
We move on to this, as Tim says. We move on to this. Personal chef or personal laundress? Which would you rather have?
Chef. I don't think that my raggedy ass clothes, I would benefit too much from having a personal laundress.
Now, this would include
Money laundering as well?
No. Good question. But folding, putting away, organizing your closet as a whole.
Yeah, no. I'm going with the chef. Come on. I feel like, I don't know who picks the laundress. I'm going to be honest. I don't know who, you'd have to have a pretty extensive wardrobe that you care very deeply about. Unless Tyler's about to pick the laundress because...
I was going to pick the laundress because I like cooking and I hate doing the laundry, but I also like to make sure that all of my clothes are properly taken care of. So,
Interesting.
I can experiment more in the kitchen and not have to worry about the laundry's done if I have somebody doing that for me.
I think I go chef.
Yeah, I do feel like when you hear about any celebrity that's decided to take on a staff, like, them having their
Chef's
own
the
personal
first
chef, like laundress. I didn't even know, like,
I didn't know that was a thing.
I
Yeah.
don't know if it is, but I just came up with it.
oh,
Yeah.
so that may not even be a term that exists.
No, probably not. I said barbecuist on SEC Network this week, and they called me out for it.
Tyler took the bait. He's like, yeah, I will take this fictional job.
Yeah, why not?
I think it does exist, though, because...
I guess it would just be a maid.
Well, the thing is, if it's maid versus chef, we start to have a little
Yeah,
bit more
more
of
of a
like,
debate.
okay, but just, I'm only doing the laundry, bub. Then yeah, give me the guy who's going to make me the actual eggs.
Okay.
Well, does the chef also clean up after himself
Yes,
and
of
like
course, of
do the
course.
dishes as well?
Yeah, that's a part. Yeah, that's
Okay,
a
It's
part.
got a staff.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, now you're starting to sway me.
Okay.
Someone to just do your laundry for you. I know you hate doing laundry, but that's such a, I mean, in terms of what you get value-wise with the chef, especially with all the food that they're going to have to be bringing in and the freshness, and like anytime you have anybody over, it's going to be like, you have a personal chef? It's like, I sure do. If you say, I have a personal laundress, they're going to be like, you lazy bastard.
I'm gonna be like, my clothes always are fresh and clean.
Fresh and clean. Listen, it's good conversation. Personal laundress, personal chef. We move on to this. What would your walkout song be if you were a wrestler?
So we're going with something that's licensed, right? That already
Yeah.
exists. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
big,
Not like a
thing.
tune of like your own making.
Oof. So there's a wrestling theme that's already, it's also my poker theme. It's called King of Kings, where I listen to it to get jazzed up for a poker tournament.
Yeah.
And so that Triple H is the wrestler that's associated with, which I don't know if you know this, the star of Blade Trinity. But I feel bad picking an actual wrestling theme that somebody else would be using.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Can't do that. Oh, just broke my microphone. This is a
Oh
weird
my
time.
god! What'd you do?
I blame Hunter Bussey for some reason. Okay, what would be my theme? Well, that was used by Hulk Hogan. Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix I love very much, but that was used by Hulk Hogan. Tyler, do you have one right off the top of your head?
I'm just surprised you couldn't think of a.
Well, all the themes I'm thinking of are
I
wrestling
would have
themes.
thought you would have one like ready to go.
All the themes I'm thinking of are wrestling themes.
Yeah.
That's what makes it tough for me. And I like sad, slow music for the most part when I'm driving in, which wouldn't be good.
I'm gonna go with Bring the Ruckus by Wu-Tang Clan, or The Mystery of Chess Boxing by Wu-Tang Clan.
I
feel
want
like there's a lot of good, like, old martial arts movies clips in the Wu-Tang catalog that would be good for it.
I'm going to take a remixed version of The Gambler,
Oh, I like that.
and I'm going to turn that into a
That's
hardcore
good.
theme.
That's good.
I want to give the correct answer. I can give a quick answer
Yeah.
anytime. I want to give the
appreciate
correct
that
answer.
on a dozen eggs. That's
Thank
what we
you.
want. You're welcome. All right, number 4. This one is especially for you guys. If you could live in any video game for a month, what would it be? Tyler, you're first.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
If you could live in any video game for a month, what would it be?
Skyrim. Or, no. Pokemon. Yeah. I'd die in the Skyrim universe so fast.
You don't have to worry about dying in my version.
There's a lot of really dangerous video game worlds to choose. So, got to be careful there.
You can't die, but you could probably be captured or tortured or something like that.
The orcs won't kill you; they'll just torture you, Tim.
Yeah.
So
Don't worry about
you
it.
can't die.
No, but you can be mortally injured. But when you come out on the other side, you're fine.
Mario is popping up in there for me.
That would be so fun.
But I could just go to Universal Orlando now. I don't even have to go to the world to experience it. GoldenEye, like James Bond living in that world, would be a lot of fun, but I would stand out.
Isn't that just the real world, though?
I mean, it's a heightened
Great
version of the real world. I mean,
But you have like you look like if you are your own character, you'd have attributes, little superpowers.
yeah, but like if I picked Grand Theft Auto, you'd be like, isn't that just
Miami.
or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not picking Grand Theft Auto. I want this to be the right answer. I'm gonna go with the Mario world probably. I'd want to live in the Mario
I'd
world.
pick Hogwarts Legacy.
That's good.
Number 5, put on your thinking caps. Tim, what is the last app you downloaded?
The last app I downloaded was a app for concert tickets that I could only purchase the concert tickets through this specific app.
Interesting.
And it was not like Ticketmaster. It was like a very much a smaller app that is in association with the venue.
I see.
So I had to use that. I don't remember the name of it. Do you want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah, I do want the name. Tyler?
I had to download last week for the concert an app called Spot Hero
Really?
to park at a reserved spot near the arena.
Interesting.
Dice is the name of the app. By the way.
Dice.
There were a lot of like signs up saying you can pay $30 for parking, $40 for parking, but I only had to pay $20 for parking because I reserved
Nice.
through Spot Hero.
Nice.
I like it. Number 6.
We're through a half dozen of these.
We're through a half dozen. This one might take you guys a while. But I want you, it has to be, like, you can't think too long. It's the first ones that come to mind. You can only pick 3 movies to watch for the rest of your life. What are they? Tyler, go.
I'm going Goodfellas. I'm going Kill Bill. And I'm going to go Scarface.
I wish you would give me 4.
Yeah, I would have loved the fourth
4 is
slot as
very
I was
simple.
considering only 2, actually.
4 is very simple. 3 is very tough. Jaws.
First one that comes to mind, Tim.
No, I've got 4. I just got to figure out which one to drop. I mean, I'll give you the 4 and then I'll drop one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So La La Land, Batman Begins, Jaws, Halloween 1978. I'm probably dropping my favorite movie of all time in La La Land.
Really?
Probably going Batman Begins,
Halloween.
Jaws, Halloween.
Okay.
Those are the 3. If I'm on an island or something and I can only pick 3 of the 4, probably going those 3.
Okay. I would be Legally Blonde, The Office, and Get Smart. I mean, not The Office. What did I say? Legally Blonde.
The Office and Get Smart.
I did not mean The Office.
Even in your
Get
own
Smart.
questions, you managed to cheat.
I know.
You need to get smarter.
And Top Gun. Sorry, not The Office.
Top Gun. Okay.
Yep.
Which one? Both? Okay, great.
Yep.
So you get 4.
Commonly confused with The Office.
Okay, 7. This is part of this smothered covered question. Favorite form of potato? Mine is Waffle House. Hash browns.
So I love a good baked potato with a, nice well done steak. Give me a good baked potato.
Ugh.
Butter and sour cream.
Yeah, I do love butter and sour cream.
Chives.
Tyler?
I'm gonna go with a nice twice baked potato.
Okay. 8. Would you rather sneeze confetti or hiccup bubbles?
This is maybe my favorite one you've asked. I am 100% sneezing confetti because that's going to be a party every single time I get a sinus reaction.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a fun party trick.
Yeah.
I'm going with hiccup bubbles.
They're multicolored. They're not clear.
Because I sneeze too much.
Be a lot of confetti.
It'd be a lot of confetti. To
Be like a
clean
bunch
up
of
every day.
grunts and Halo get headshotted.
Yeah, exactly.
The confetti, there would be cleanup involved, but I think that would be pretty fun. The only problem would be like if you're driving, imagine you have like a sneeze attack and your car's full of confetti.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun, I guess.
I mean, I think it'd be fun. I think the first few times it'd be a lot of fun. And then it'd
Yeah.
be like, no, everyone back away. I can't let this happen again. Anyway, we'll sneeze confetti.
We move on to this. I'm very excited to hear your answers about this. If the opportunity presented itself, could either of you confidently land a plane?
Whew. I downloaded him.
100%. 100%.
Tyler.
I'm an adaptable person.
Tyler.
I'm not saying I have any experience with planes or anything bigger than like a big truck. But you give me instructions, I'm landing that plane.
You're in the air already.
Yeah.
Your co-pilot is passed out.
Yeah.
It's you and this guy.
I'll tell you this. I want to do it myself rather than let somebody else be in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd rather be the one that is ultimately going to sink or swim on my own volition.
I would agree.
I would want to take the controls myself.
Yeah.
And I would have to fight off any man that challenged me for them to the death, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the way it works in airplane combat. I've seen too many movies. But yeah, would I have confidence that I could actually get the job done? No, I don't. Because I tried to play Microsoft Airplane Simulator or whatever, and it did not work out well for me.
So
I just got too bored.
Yeah.
Like, I got to do wacky stuff in the air. So
Tyler's a yes. Tim, you're maybe.
I'm unlikely. We're probably all going to die.
Number 10, we're rounding this out, people. Do you like to people watch? If so, what is the best place to people watch? Tyler, we'll start with you.
No, I don't. I don't like to people watch. I'm very tunnel vision when I'm out in public. Like, say I go to the movies later today. I'm not looking to see who's out and about and what they're doing. No, I'm grabbing my drink and then I'm walking to the theater and then I'm sitting down and then I'm watching the movie and then I'm walking out and filming my review and then going home.
That is going to be played in court one day when you're the lead witness on some sort of
Yep.
like horrible murder or something.
Yep.
It's like, I don't even see other people. I don't even recognize their faces.
I'm not paying attention 90% of the time. Unless you are right in front of me.
Sounds like you're great to land a plane then. Here's what I would say.
Hey, in that case, everything in front of the plane would be in front of me, and I'd be paying attention.
That's true.
And I'm not just shuffling my feet to go see materialists or sneaks.
Dude, you got to see Materialists of how rotten it is. Anyway, I do like to people watch the mall and casinos. I like both of those areas to watch people in.
Yeah.
I will say college football events too.
They're really good.
Like, you can get full backstories on people not having a single conversation with them.
You can, like, when I'm sitting in the end zone, especially at Bama on the specific side, I can hear every conversation taking place above me. And like some of those, I'm like, whoa, like.
Okay, now eavesdropping is a different different conversation entirely.
That's true.
But you're backing up that, like,
college football.
You get the audio, I get the visual, sync those up, and we got a heck of a story.
The beach is great. Hello.
That's actually one of the places people watch the least.
Really?
I feel like if you're looking at people on the beach, you come across as a creep, especially
people walking by.
Just staring at anybody. I feel like you're a creep. I don't feel like I can just.
Oh, that's like me and my mom's favorite thing to do. Like sit on the beach because it's like fashion shows. People walk by you.
I mean, that's true.
So,
but
good stuff.
No, I'm in there, just hurling around the shore like a sea lion.
Yeah, or a great white shark.
Correct.
This one is similar to the plain one. This is number 11. I'm going to give you guys a scenario here. You're given a paperclip, normal colored,
okay,
to hide in the studio for $1 million. If you hide it successfully,
yeah,
and the FBI does not find it in 90 minutes, you get the $1 million. If they find it, you don't get anything.
Love this question. This is where you're starting to really the hypotheticals.
Thank you. Where is it going in here? And do you think it'd be possible?
I feel like you should ask those in reverse order, because if the answer is yes to your first one, then that's when it can go to the
True. Okay.
where are you hiding it.
Thank
because
you.
if you don't think it's possible, then it's a waste of time. You I'll put it on a desk. It's a great question of where would you put it, right? Because it's a paperclip and it's colored. You said
It's just a normal metal one.
normal metal one.
You can't destroy it.
I mean, I'm definitely taking I got nothing to lose by trying.
Agreed.
I'm trying to hide it within that computer somewhere.
Interesting. See, to me, I'm like, no, because they would just bust that open and then just crack everything, hammer it, and then
Probably they would just come in and wreck shop until they find it.
yeah. They have
Probably.
90 minutes to do it too. You know where I'm hiding it? Wait, Tyler, go.
So, I have a couple of ideas. I was thinking, like, the Superman canvas that's behind Tim. You can't see it on camera, but it's just above the Dallas Mavericks poster. With the canvas, there's a little bit of wood that juts out, and I was thinking, like, slide it in one of the cracks in the wood and the canvas, and then hang it back up.
I think we're probably both getting caught, to be
I
honest.
think so, but, I think that's our best option. Where else do you want to hide it?
I'm landing this plane, buddy. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I just thought of this. I promise this was not premeditated. I would hide it in the door, like if you open that door right there to the studio, in the key area.
Would that count?
Yeah.
That would count?
Yeah.
I know it's your rules, but
It'd count.
they would know that that's a possibility. That
They're
like,
the FBI. They should know.
wouldn't they ask, like, what does this all include? And they would, like, you'd be like, well, from the door to the wall. And they'd be like, okay, well, first thing we're going to check is the door.
No, maybe not.
I don't know. I may throw it in one of these, like, I may just throw it down the hatch there. Hope they don't turn it upside down.
I mean, if I'm the FBI, I'm coming in here. I'm destroying every single thing in here.
That's correct. Please don't.
So,
Okay, you win. The FBI wins.
Well, why does the FBI need to destroy stuff in here?
Well, why are they giving away $1.5 million or
$1
whatever?
million.
That's a very good question.
We have a
They
lot.
keep asking for money.
Yeah, that's the opposite of Doge.
all right, the last question. We're wrapping up.
Is this number 12?
Yeah,
It's going by so quick.
I know. Aren't you happy? Okay. Celeb that annoys you the most.
Can they be a local celeb?
Sure.
Wait, was the question local celebrity or what celebrity annoys you the most?
What celebrity annoys you the most? And
Okay,
like,
I
can they
genuinely
be a
didn't hear the
local
question.
celeb?
Well, I knew your answer just by the question.
Good.
Which celebrity annoys me the most? So I'm gonna pick somebody that, like, I gotta pick somebody that's like more known for their celebrity than their actual work. I do not like Oscar Isaac.
I don't even know who that is.
He's an actor. But lately, Mark Ruffalo's been getting on my nerves a lot.
I agree. I've never liked Mark Ruffalo. Heard it here first.
Mark Ruffalo, Oscar Isaac, anybody that's just, they're very similar auras.
Yeah, kind of like better than us.
Can't stand either one of them. Short, yappy men.
Yeah.
Get out of my life. You know?
Amen.
Oscar Isaac, I've never liked. I went and saw a movie called The Card Counter, which is a poker movie, which, by the way, you cannot count cards in poker, so it doesn't even make sense. It's an awful movie. It's a really awful movie. Tiffany Haddish is in that movie, which is interesting. It's awful. Anyway, Oscar Isaac would be my number one, probably, person that I get most frustrated with watching.
Okay.
Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, easily. I thought, has James Corden gotten to the point where he annoys me more than Fallon? I thought about it and I said, nope, it's Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon just did a sit down recently talking about what it feels like to be hated by some people and how tough it is on his psyche.
Yeah, and it sounded really sad because the whole thing came across as, well, I just want everyone to like me.
Yeah, I think he's a perpetual people pleaser.
You cannot be that in your own life, and you definitely can't try to be that at the scale of Jimmy Fallon.
I really liked Jimmy Fallon until the pandemic. And then I feel like he got in a situation where his producers put him in a really tough spot with the Tonight Show and what he was doing with that. And he was trying to like be light Colbert and light Kimmel and instead of being himself. And I just felt like he lost his way, but his late night run was really good. It was It's really, really strong. And when he got the Tonight Show, it started to become a lot more commercialized. And, he's got his own theme park ride now.
Really?
Universal, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's it.
The eggs are cracked and scrambled.
There we go. What's your answer, EG?
Celebrity
that
I don't
annoys
like
you the
Chrissy
most?
Teigen.
Chrissy Teigen.
Oh, yeah, that's
It really
fair.
annoys me. I don't like Rachel Zegler either.
Oh, man. You're hitting some home runs here. Those are good answers. We both went dudes. You went women. I feel like, we all go after our own. I wasn't going to say kind, but I mean, like.
That would have been odd. That would have been an odd thing to say.
I think it's like people we could see in our friendship circle in some way that we don't want in our friendship circle. I think that's what we're. So anyway.
Thoughts, though, guys, on the eggs?
You did a wonderful job. Thank
you.
you so much for that. And I appreciate you giving us the whole dozen of eggs
Dozen.
without the shells.
Without no shells.
You know what that
weekend,
sound
people.
means? It's nap time. Well, it's nap time. That's going to do it for us here on The Meltdown. It's been another fun week of shows with you. Thank you for being here with us. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for us, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that fun stuff. Hey, if you're in Croatia, you've already done all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, guys. We appreciate you, even though you're listening via podcast and not really watching the YouTube stream. But, however
They're
you
with
get the
us
show.
in spirit.
They're with us in spirit. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you, Croatia, as you are towards the top of our priority list now because we're really making great gains there.
Yeah. Shout out to Christian Pulisic on the U.S. men's national team. He's Croatian.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Luka Modric,
We
another
need-
famous Croatian.
We need to throw on the screen number 60 in Croatia at some point. We need to throw that up on the screen and just have it be part of our overlay or something. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, or just like a tracker. Like we occasionally check in. It's like, all right, now where are we at in the Croatian charts?
I don't know what we did to earn the affection of Croatia, but I
I hear they have great beaches, too.
Well, there we go.
Oh, somebody in the chat said it's like 2,500 miles of coastline. It's nothing but beaches.
Sounds like EG's ready to commit fully.
I am. Meltdown World Tour. Why not?
There we go. Make it happen. Meltdown World Tour 2029?
20.
All right.
Oh,
So that
no.
is going to do it for us here on The Meltdown. Thank you so much. And hope you have a wonderful and fun and safe weekend. And, go watch Jaws. Or even better, if you're, a big game hunter, MyBookie, mybookie.ag. That's the place to go. Use promo code NEXTROUND for that first-time deposit bonus where you can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. They're at mybookie.ag. Once again, promo code NEXTROUND. Thank you so much. Really quick here before we leave. This is important. We love Rowback.
We love Rowback.
And I got
Pants.
some joggers.
Oh.
Look at this. Got some joggers here from Rowback. Really appreciate them. And EG, you have a way to save everybody a little bit of money when it comes to Rowback.
I do. Code PG20, not EG20. That'd be cool, though. PG20 gets you 20% off at checkout. Use the code. We'd love for you guys to match us in Rowback. We all have Rowback. Tyler's wearing his hoodie.
Yep, I hit the
Fabulous.
wrong button. I got the new Huddle hoodie in midnight black. It's very soft,
Cozy.
buttery, and also they're thicker hoodies. So you know what? On the cold winter month, this will keep you nice and toasty. On a cozy night where you just want to watch a movie, this will keep you toasty. Or if you're in a studio that can't regulate temperature, some days it's 100 degrees and some days it's 45 degrees. This keeps you nice and toasty.
I love it. You yelling, I hit the wrong button is the last thing we would hear before the plane went down.
Yeah, literally.
But that's all I'll say about that.
I had the wrong button.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, a field is just as good as a runway. Just as good.
Okay.
I don't want to be on that
Both
plane.
are ground.
I don't
All
want
right.
to be on that plane.
We're going to end this right now
We're gonna land this
abruptly.
plane.
You
Thank
gonna land this plane?
We are going to land this plane right now. We're going to bring it on into the hangar, and we appreciate you hanging out with us right here on The Meltdown. We'll see you again next week, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern.